Hi there. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine. I'm here today with a flip through of a journal I recently created. And I wanted to show you what I've done with this little beauty. Actually, it's not so little. This journal has over 196 pages. So I wanted to show you what I've done and let you know that it will later on today it will be available in my Etsy shop if you're interested in it, and my Etsy shop link is listed below. This journal is made from a Catholic Missal that I found in a store when I was thrifting, of course. And I actually paid more for this book than I've paid for a book in a long time. But there's something about it that just spoke to me. It felt nice. The cover is, it's just thick and well made. I'll show you when I get inside. And the spine was so nice. And you could tell that it had been well loved by whoever the previous owner was. The publication date is 1954. So that makes it 65 years old. So it's vintage. Some of us that are around that age actually feel quite antique, but we're just vintage. Anyhow, so I wanted to take a little tour through this book so that you can see what I've done with the insides of it. I really wanted to honor the original book, and it actually was my intention at first to create a naked journal, what's called a naked junk journal, and just have lots and lots of mostly blank pages for the new owner to write in and make it their own. And if they wanted to add ephemera, they can go ahead and do so with their own. And it still mostly is that. What I have done is it had quite a text block, quite a beautiful text block with a lot of illustrations, just little illustrations. And they were so pretty. And I thought, I can't just throw this text block into the blue box. So I went through and I cut out most of the little illustrations. There were also some beautiful color plates of beautiful old masterpiece artwork. So I included those two. I thought they need to go with, I've been calling it my Catholic all sorts because it's got all sorts of things in it. And that's what I'm going to show you right now before we get into it. Sometimes I wonder if when my books go off to new people and I say to you, well, this page came from this and this page came from that. I actually want to show you, in addition to simply blank tea-dyed paper, ledger paper, accounting paper, lined paper, watercolor paper, in addition to all those blank kinds of papers that I collect from my various repurposed sources, I also use pages from books. So I'm actually going to show you the books that have participated in becoming signatures for this Catholic all sorts. And the first one here is, I have a 1942 copy of Handel's Messiah. And I just love this book. I'll be sad when I run out, but I think I've got a little while yet before this baby runs out. And it's just lovely. The size is perfect that I like. I like that it has the previous owner's notes to themselves, like they had to stand there. It's a nice book. So there is some of Handel's Messiah in the Catholic all sorts. I love this book, How to Draw, and this was published in 1949. And it's simply a lovely book on pencil drawings and how to draw. So there is some of this book that's in the Catholic all sorts, hence why I've been calling it my Catholic all sorts. There's a page from this little children's reader, school reader, and it's in such sad and sorry shape that, but there was no publication date in it, and I'm old enough to recall these fashions. So I am suspecting probably 1950s, quite possibly 1940s for this book. Especially, like I said, given the clothing that they're wearing, the clothing that the parents are wearing. You know, the father's always got a suit and tie on. The mother's always wearing a dress and pearls, like out of Leave It to Beaver. So the elevators, you don't see many elevators like that anymore. I remember elevators like that in the downtown Simpsons store when I was growing up. So that there's a page from this book in there. This is one of my favorite books to pull pages out of for signatures. It's from 1947, and it is the Complete Book of Garden Magic, and it's really is a magical book. It's got so many lovely hand drawings in it, and I just love this book for adding into signatures. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? On how to do your garden. So this is a page or two from this is also in your book. This is a program. I'm going to have to turn it sideways so you can see how long it is. It's quite long. It is the program from when Westminster Abbey celebrated its 900th birthday, and it was published in 1965. And it's full of really, really beautiful things. So there is papers from out of that book. This is also music sheets, and it is from, hold on, let me bring it up closely, 1907. So there is some of this music. And then I took a lot of the fun advertising in the back of these neighborhood newspapers. Oh, I just love them. And I took a lot out of there. And this is from 1957, the Family Herald. And it had originally gone to somebody who lived in Galt, Ontario. And Galt doesn't really exist anymore. The people who live there will tell you it exists, that they're from Galt. But it has been absorbed into Cambridge, Ontario, as far as I know. And I know what that's like. I was born in Scarborough, Ontario, and nowadays that is considered Toronto. But when someone asks me where I was born in Scarborough. So there you go. These are all where I've pulled my interesting papers from. So keep your eye out for what you think you might be seeing. I'll try and remember to point them out when we start going through. So I've put the ribbon this way. I felt like a change. You'll be able to tie the ribbon whatever way you like. And I find that way I can just slide it right off. It comes off nice and easily. So let's measure this book because I didn't measure it. It is, now that curves out there, 5 1/4 by 7 1/8, and it's quite thick. It is 2 inches thick, and it has 7 signatures in it. If you can see, in amongst all the all the stuff, there are 7 signatures with a hidden hollow back spine. I was able to save the original threaded headings and footer from the original book and put it back into the book, which is a treat to be able to do that. Sometimes they don't always come out very easily. I put, it originally had a really faded, worn out, painted hand and goblet on the front, and it was very sad and tired looking. So I have put this angel, sort of Renaissance-y looking angel on the front, and I like how she's pointing to, she's almost saying, all right, it opens over there, and you open the book. Now, she looks like a girl to me. I seem to recall the page that I read that this was on, because this was fussy cut. It was something about the Annunciation, but I thought Gabriel made the announcement to Mary that she was expecting. And Gabriel was a boy. So maybe she was Gabriel's girlfriend or something. Who knows? None of us will know till we get to where we're going. Mary knows. Alrighty, so I added some ribbon on the hinges because they were a little sad. So they're not sad anymore because these lacy ribbons are just really pretty with a shimmery gold running through it. I just love that. Inside, I added end papers from the thing I found one day thrifting, my William Morris collection. It's wrapping paper that is taken from the prints that he created. So this is William Morris, and it's also on the back. And I left those bare. The new owner can put, if you want to put a pocket on it, you can, or if you want to put your own ex libris, you can. But I just thought that was so pretty. I've left it bare. Here I've included my favorite picture that was in the original book of Mary. I suppose she's being told about the blessed event that will be happening soon. I'm not sure. Or maybe she had the baby and they're all celebrating. I'm not sure. Here I've made a paper ruffle out of Handel's Messiah along the sides here, and I added a beautiful royal blue ribbon there. And I left it a little bit longer here with a dovetail cut at the bottom. You can trim that off if that's driving you nuts. So much of this, like I said, my original intention was for it to be a naked journal. And it's not naked, but it's nearly naked. There is a tuck spot here from some Messiah music. Some more artwork from out of the book made into a journaling card. This is from that 1907 music. It's Ave Maria. So I put a picture. This is from the original book. I put Mary and the baby there. This is a page out of a dictionary. And although it looks like it's a tribute to me, and I'm sorry for that, but it really did just happen on its own, because this is the page from the dictionary that has the word Catholic. So you get Catholic, and you also get quite a little bit of Catherine. Blank papers. This was out of the original book. It's Joan of Arc. Music paper that's been tea dyed. This is from the original book. This is from the drawing book that I showed you. Joan of Arc, or Jeanne d'Arc. Other side of the dictionary, other side of the 1907 music. Again, you can see the date up here. I like when I can preserve the original date from the paper. And it was in very nice condition. It's still quite tough. Ave Maria, the other side. A tea-dyed page from a reprint of a Sears Roebuck catalog. This is one of those pages that I was originally preparing to put in. I was going to put a lot of them in, but I quickly discovered that it's very heavy paper, and it became heavier when I tea-dyed it, and it became even heavier when I blocked out the original text to make it journalable. So I actually decided against putting one leaf of these in every single signature. So there's only, I believe, 2 in the whole book now instead. But that makes them a little more rare and a little more special, I guess. Here's a tuck area. These are all original artwork that were in the book originally. I made a postcard for journaling on from an index card, and this little stamp is actually one of the illustrations from out of the original book. Now this page, hold on, let me go show this first. This is some more original artwork out of the original Catholic Missal. This is from the Westminster Abbey book. And these pages came from a, you know what, I can't go find it now. I'm sorry, I missed it. I have an old medical encyclopedia. And I picked the section that was on the heart, blood, and circulation, since that plays quite a bit of in the Catholic Church. So I made a little journaling card tag, and this is from the little newspaper, the little Family Herald newspaper from Galt, Ontario. And you might say, what does that have to do with Catholicism? I don't know. Hence why it quickly started being called My Catholic All Sorts. Because I'm sure there's a lot of Catholics living in Galt. Maybe we'll put it that way. That's how we'll get around it. Here's the other side of that page. I really love that. I'm going to find lots of ways to use that, but this might not be my regular way. A little ad from the back of that newspaper on hobbies. People have been doing hobbies since the beginning of time. And there's the advertising policy for the Family Herald. The other side is Sears Roebuck. Lots and lots, like I said. It's almost a naked journal. Not quite. Lots of writing space in this book. A little tuck spot. I put my business card in there. This is a page from that gardening book. This is a beautiful card. I found a whole box of religious cards that are so pretty. The artwork on that is just lovely, and there's even like shimmery gold, so I've included that. That can be a journaling spot. You can use it. Oh, I've got glue on myself. Sorry. You can use it as you wish. It's there and blank and ready to use. It could be sent to someone. It's in such lovely condition. This is a page from some stationery that I found when I went thrifting with Nancy from Wishes and Wheats. So that brings back happy memories for me. That was a nice day. That was a lovely surprise. Nice birthday surprise. A little tip out. The other side of that gardening book that I love. Another bookmark. This ribbon is actually the original bookmark ribbon from this original book. So it had two that were attached to the spine back here, but it was in very, very sad, sorry shape. So that's one of the original bookmark ribbons. This pocket is made out of the pages that were calendars, because this book was set up so that it could be used from the years 1954 until 1971, I think. I'll find it. I've used the calendar pages in different ways within the book. So that's one of the calendars that was in it, so that you could go to church, or if you were home and you could follow along what was being studied or preached that day. Here's another one. So I made a little journaling book, and this one is, what years are these? 1957, 58 to 1960. So I've just included that with a little copper paper clip. The other side of one of those gardening pages. More drawing pages. More ads from that little newspaper. This is also from that little newspaper, and I had to include him. I thought he looked so sweet, and I actually thought he looked like my grandson Leo when he was a little guy. Leo had smiling eyes like that. Well, he does still, but he's not that little anymore. More from the gardening book, and more from the dictionary from the page that had Catholic on it. A flower book. And I'm not sure which one this page came out. That's why I didn't put it in my stack. I have a lot of flower books. Another page with pockets on either side. Here's one of the little artworks from the book, the original Catholic Missal. So I cut it out and put it there. It's a garbage man going about his workday. Here's Christ being baptized by his cousin John. And that's from the original book, made into a tag. Here's one of my usual bookmarks that go in with my mom and my grandmother on it. some poetry. Another side here, artwork from the original book. Again, artwork from the original book. I thought it was so pretty. Made into a journaling tag. And a postcard with artwork, oh, hold on, made into a stamp and its journaling space. And you'll see that there's sewing throughout this book. I've left all the threads, and if you don't enjoy threads, just go through and snip them. It's very simple to do. When I first started making junk journals, there's a little piece of paper in there. I didn't enjoy dangly threads, and I have now come to love lots of stringy dangly threads. So I leave them in, and that way it becomes optional for the new owner. Here's a little clip, a rusted out clip, and this fabric that's on it is leftovers of the fabric that was used to make the hidden hollow back spine. And then I made another little writing spot with leftover papers, and from another page from the calendars. So 65, 67, and 1968. So that's page 943. It was a big book. Here, let me put this over here. I have made a clear, it's not glassine, this is wax paper. I couldn't find glassine anywhere in this chaotic room of mine. So I grabbed my wax paper and I made a little envelope, and it's see-through here. And what I've done is I've included all of the rest of these sweet little retro illustrations that were on all the pages. I just went through and I cut them all out because they're really cool. They show different careers, different life moments. I like that. Think of that as me, whoever owns that. I've done hair for years and years and years now. Anyhow, so I just thought that was my way of including it. Oh, and I included this. I figured when you're writing in, if it lasts till Christmas, you might want to use that. That was on the page for Christmas. So that'll be in there too. And that's a tip out of a guest book. I can't show you the guest book because I rip them apart as soon as I find them and start dyeing them. This is a silly Catherine thing. These old newspapers and old 40s magazines and such, it just cracks me up. And I guess it's the preschooler in me that still giggles. All the ads for constipation. It just, oh my goodness. Constipation. Here's what I just thought, no, there's no way I can put 2 in this book. I had cut another one out. And yeah, no. Only 1. I had to control myself. The child in me. Anyhow, it's a journaling spot. Yeah. And this is the other bookmark ribbon that was in the original book. I saved it, and it is on the on this bookmark. And that's nice. I like when you can reincorporate what was in the old book. This is from the Westminster Abbey book. Here's Roebuck, little tuck spot, Westminster Abbey, just some journaling paper. This little tuck spot is actually from, hold on, let me turn the page. I had an invitation to a child's communion, first communion, and it actually was 3 fold-outs. But it was designed to stand up, so the fold here wasn't very stable. And that's the other side of it. It was designed so that you could sort of fold it and stand it up and put it on your counter or a table. So I took it right off and I just made a tuck spot out of it because it's so pretty. I couldn't not include that. So that's why, if you're wondering why this looks familiar to this, it really was part of it. I thought that was so pretty. A little envelope that I've glued on, so there's tuck spot in behind. That's from the drawing book. And then when you go inside, there's this is from that newspaper, so you can even see it's from 1957. And then I just created a little tab so you can close the envelope behind. I believe that's one of Mary's handmaidens who was helping her from one of the paintings that was in the book. Oh. Westminster Abbey book. This is all tea-dyed paper. Joan of Arc. A baby's tablets in case they get windy. Oh, rats, constipated. Ugh. So I did put 2 in. I'm sorry. You can take these out if you really, if you right now you're thinking, Catherine, I don't need all this constipation. Postcard. Stamp made from one of the illustrations, and journaling space. This is also an illustration from the book. I've just made it into a little tuck spot. And here's a page from that children's school reader book. Here's another one of those cards. Like I said, I have a whole box of them, and they are so pretty. They have a little scripture quote there. I just thought that was so lovely. So, you know what? I tucked another one in. This is also from the original book, so it's just mostly a little tuck spot. What have I got that I could tuck there that I could show you that it's a tuck spot? Here. Yeah, tuck spot. The departure of Joan of Arc. I made another tuck spot at the back here. I always love a good sturdy big tuck spot at the beginnings and ends of my books. So this picture is from the original book of Mary and Joseph and Jesus. I loved how pretty he looked there because I have 2 boys and I have a little bonus boy. They were so pretty when they were little. And I like that they made Jesus very pretty. That's another original. I didn't do anything with it, but I've included it in case the new owner would like to make something from it. There's some more. I made so much paper because I had the intentions of adding so many leaves of that unusual Anne McCaffrey paper. Where'd it go? You know what I'm talking about. The yellow paper with the cute little borders. Is that it? There, this paper. I prepared so many of these squares because I thought I was going to do leaves for the entire book. And then when I quickly realized they were going to be way too bulky, but I included them just so that they could be little journaling sheets. You might as well still use them. And then again, I made another paper ruffle from Handel's Messiah and ran a ribbon down it. And then I finally figured out where I wanted to put this beautiful baby Jesus sticker that the original owner obviously had loved so much. So I put a bit of a gold doily behind him, and he's up here in a beautiful royal blue ribbon. And yeah, I thought that worked out nice. And then there's lots of journaling space here. So that's my Catholic All Sorts, also more appropriately known as the 1954 Catholic Missal. And I thought that turned out really, really nice. 196 full pages. That doesn't include the little tiny half pages that I tucked in here or there. And this beautiful little ribbon that will go around it. I was going to put an eyelet so that it could tie shut with ribbons. But as I said, part of the reason I love this book so much, it's so heavy duty. They wanted this book to last a long time. It's so thick, I couldn't get that inside my crocodile. Isn't that incredible? So it was destined, this book didn't want to be punched. So it was destined to just have a ribbon wrapped around it. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed a little tour through my Catholic All Sorts. I will be listing this in my Etsy shop later on today. Today is Monday, January 6th. So hopefully by later this evening, I'm Eastern time, so I'm hoping maybe by about 5 o'clock or so, it will be showing up in my Etsy shop. And if you're interested in it, you can click on the link down below and go take a look at the listing for a little bit more information. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you're having a great day. We'll talk soon. Bye.